I started actually 12 years ago. I was 9 years old and my passion came from my dad. So basically my dad transferred me this passion for flying helicopters, and afterwards I moved into airplanes as well as drones. And this passion came absolutely it started to be all my life, my work, my real passion, the place I hide when I feel bad, and this is how I started the drone sport. I would number them, and the first one is probably the practice time. You need to spend quite a lot of time on practicing if you really want to succeed on FPV racing, because it's all about the point of view, so with the goggles or with the monitor, and you really have to practice that on your laptop or on the DCL the game, for example. You just have to spend a lot of time on it. So if you don't have too much time, it's difficult to be super fast, of course. So my favorite track is for sure Lux. I've been there and I've flown it. It's absolutely amazing. You have the chance to fly super high in this kind of mountains, full of snow, in a situation that it's not possible in other ways if there isn't like a competition and a big organization around it. So for sure that one was my best experience overall, to go there and to fly all around the mountains in a ski park. It was amazing. So here in Vaduz there are many difficult points, I would say. It's a very technical track, but one of the most difficult is the crane, because the crane is a big obstacle. It's a very narrow tunnel that goes towards the McDonald gate in the end, so you also have to go 3 times in that tunnel, and it's very difficult to avoid mid-airs, it's very difficult to avoid the crane itself, and that's the most difficult part, I would say. What's really important in the races for the crowd to understand the race and to understand the emotions of the moment. The lights, of course, the TRILUX lights are really important, because especially in the seats I'm sitting on it at the moment, it's very important because it shuts down and changes color when the drone crashes or when something happens to this drone of this pilot, as well as the drones. For the pilots itself, it's very important to have bright LEDs, because they can let the other pilots see his drone, and at the same time this pilot can see the other drones if they are in front of him, if they are a little bit on the sides. So it's one of the key to understand where the other drones are and to succeed and win the competitions. One very important point that I want to mention is the DCL the game. It's the only way, I would say, to enter into racing in the best way possible without spending money and with practicing in the best way. Because when you have a drone in the end and you crash it, you have to spend time and you have to spend money on fixing it and actually practice with it. While with the simulator, you can race all our DCL tracks without spending time on traveling, just having your PC in front of you. You just press a button and have a new drone, and you can really practice until you get very good at it. As soon as you have done that, you can really feel comfortable with FPV and get into races. And who knows, maybe one time you can be and join us in DCL. So the best way to start FPV and drone racing is of course the simulator and the game, DCL the game for example. But another way is also to fly together with another friend, another person that flies FPV already. You can have him teaching you, so being teacher and student with 2 controllers. He can control the up and down, which is the most difficult part, and the other pilot, the student, can learn to go back and forth and right and left and start to get into touch with the FPV in this way as well. So when you have the FPV goggles on, the only thing you see is the onboard camera. So it's very important to have a clear and crisp image, and that makes life much easier. Of course, also the LEDs on the track are very important, because they guide you through the line of the track, and also the buildings and all the obstacles. You really have to have in mind all the track in order to complete it in the fastest way possible. These are super important, as I said. They are really important for the pilot to understand where to go. So they have to be bright, long enough, and in the right position. So as you can tell, drone racing is improving a lot every year. For example, this is the last DCL drone 2019. We changed a lot the look, and I'm really looking forward for the future, because I believe there are going to be many improvements. The sport is growing up, we are having bigger drones, faster pilots as well. So I think that the sport is going to be much bigger as DCL is getting bigger as well.